Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome back to our All Things Arsenal podcast here in Calgary. We've got Sean and Jonathan back with us today to talk about things that have happened recently and things that are coming up. We know it's not been maybe the most glamorous comeback for us after Project Restart. So we'll jump right into it with I think the game against Man City, guys. So what do we think?
It's Man City. I didn't expect them to win. I certainly didn't expect them to lose 3-0. And I have to say, I haven't seen the game, so I'm only really going by the brief highlights that you see of the goals that are scored. Sounds like Arsenal stayed in the game for the first 45 minutes, even though I think they were down 1-0 somewhat early. But City just took over in the second half, and I don't know if that's fitness. The injuries early probably sent a shockwave through the team, and enough has been said about Luis that we don't need to go on more about that here.
Don't we though? Don't we? we should have done a separate podcast just on David Luiz's performance, I think, in that game.
Maybe we need to.
Sean, what about you? Did you have the chance to see the game?
I watched it on the Zone a few days ago because I was working when it was live. But I thought we were in the game for the first 20 to 25 minutes, then had injuries to like Mari and Xhaka, so that was a pretty unfortunate. And then we had to put Luis on and Ceballos, and then I guess the rest it is history. I just don't know what he was thinking. He's always got that error in him, and I guess that's where you see like a top centre back to like a okay centre back like that level of like quality. Like you wouldn't see Van Dijk or like someone else make that mistake, but it was rather unfortunate because I thought we were right in the game in the first 20 minutes, and then going down to 10 men just made it very hard.
Yep, and there was a couple of takeaways away from that game that we've found out since then. I guess the first thing is what we're reading today is that Luis has signed a new 1-year deal with us. So I think we all probably know he was, or at least what we're led to believe is that he was pushing for 2 years. So he signed that 1-year deal, or he's going to sign that 1-year deal, is what we're hearing today. What's your guys' emotions towards that? It's tough off the back of that result, obviously.
Yeah, not very pleased about that one. I'll just keep it at that, I think.
that was a Football Manager response if ever I did hear one. Just playing as safe as you can.
Short and sweet.
I think in the first podcast I mentioned I wasn't impressed that we signed him. I thought his last couple of years at that other team in London, the Blue Team, he was on his way down. So for us to pick him up seemed weird. But now to sign him for another year, he's not going to be a fan favorite. He's going to be seen probably the same as Xhaka. But it doesn't seem wise to me. But I guess football teams see something in him more than we see in him.
Yeah, and I think you suspect. I don't think he was ever Arteta's first choice at centre back anyway. So I suspect there's a little bit of he's hoping he can teach some of the younger blood a thing or two, I guess.
Yeah, that's what
But I must admit on a personal level, I hope that's not a commitment to see him getting lots and lots of game time in that position. But yeah, the disappointing result for us all round, and took a couple of knocks in that game, and obviously, like you say, Sean, the sending off just kind of killed it for us. So then moving swiftly on, guys, the game against Brighton. So I don't know about you, but after the City game, that was kind of like a bit of a burn, and then I was ready for the cool balm of an easy win against Brighton. that wasn't the way it went for us, right? So what did you guys think about that game?
I think we were just very slow, like just moving the ball right, middle, left, left, middle, right, going backwards. So it was very slow paced game, and then got in front, and then I feel Arteta should have maybe brought some subs on and just like sat back and then gone on the counter. But then they equalised in a scrappy goal, and then they got the winner in the 95th minute. Plus, bit shattered for Leno, like he's out for 6 weeks, which is disappointing. But yeah, very disappointed in like how he played in that game. So not too impressed from my view.
Yeah, after the City game, my thought was that they were playing too close. Games are stacked up one on the other, and that they better score early. And Lacazette had a chance early. I think Aubayamang had a chance early. Saka hit the bar. So I think those go in. It'd be obviously it would have been a different game, but we would have at least been able to rest. But I think the stacking of 2 games within 3 days really hurt us in the last 15-20 minutes of that game. I think our guys just couldn't keep up, even though we have 5 subs. I really questioned why Ozil didn't come on. Obviously, I've read some rumors that there might be a falling out, or I'm kind of reading between the lines that Ozil's not happy again. So he doesn't play well on the road. That was kind of a joke the last couple of weeks, but to me, he's healthy and he looks fit in the training videos. And why he's not playing, I'm not sure. But Leno's loss. I don't think losing Leno cost them the game. Again, our defense just got shredded, and whether it was Holding or Kolasinac, Mustafi, it's the same old story, unfortunately.
Yep, and speaking about Leno, so I guess the first thing is obviously we wish him all the best in his recovery. The second thing is that I think we'll all be glad to hear that the news wasn't as bad as it first seemed. I know the first reports I was reading was it was months and months and months and months that he was going to be out for, and that was making me very nervous. And I was seeing reports about us bringing in certain replacement goalies, and that was making me more nervous. But thankfully, it seems like he should be back for the new season, which is good news.
Yeah.
It was obviously a major incident in the game, apart from the goals in the match versus Brighton. What do we think about the challenge that went in on Leno and sort of the reaction of the players and everything that went on around that?
I think it would have been at least like a yellow card, because he was at least 2 feet in the air by the time he like pushed him or whatever. But like it wasn't even like a free kick. And then the players didn't really take get mad about it until they scored, basically, and leveled it, and then Guendouzi started to fire up then. But I would rather them be fired up from the first minute, playing wise, rather than just waiting for something to happen to one of their teammates. But yeah, I think he should have got a yellow card for that. But yeah, what would your guys' view?
Yeah, to wait as long as they did to react to apply and be vindictive after the fact. Once they tied it up, it was a bit too late then. Their emotions started to run on them. Probably a little bit of tiredness as well. And I keep going back to tiredness, but I think fatigue was a big factor in that game for them. Let's face it, these guys have been off for 3 months of time. They've been training, but training is nothing like playing in a game. And to play a high intensity game like they did against City and then have to come back 2 days later, I think their emotions, I think they were in a bit of shock that they were losing to Brighton when they rightfully probably should have been ahead. They deserved a much better result. And I think their emotions just ran on them incorrectly. Can never let that happen. Be a bit more productive with your emotions and have that show up in the results rather than taking personal shots at a guy. Like Guendouzi, he's on the trade block now.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. I think for me, the challenge on Leno, I don't really care what comes out of Mape's mouth. It was deliberate. He had plenty of capacity to stop himself before hitting Leno. Leno had control of the ball. For me, to your point, Sean, it should have been at least a booking. And some people will probably say that's looking at it with sort of Arsenal tinted glasses and having a bit of a moan about the ref. But I think for any of us that have ever played football as well, you know that you've got enough time to stop in that sort of situation. He knew the keeper had the ball, so I don't think there was any excuse to. You obviously give him the benefit of the doubt that you hope he didn't actually mean to hurt Leno, of course, but he definitely meant to at least let him know he was there, in my opinion, which is disappointing for us to lose what's been a real star man so far this season. But hopefully he's back soon. I guess just before we talk about the game against the Saints on Thursday, I just took a bit of a look at our injury list update from today. So Leno's meant to be back 4 to 6 weeks. Martinelli is really actually the concern point. Xhaka's back in training. Socrates, for whatever we think about him, is back. Mari, he's 2 to 3 months, but again, he wasn't starting centre back anyway. Cedric Suarez, who I think's played one game for us, he's coming back soon. And Torreira is 2 to 3 weeks out. So it's really Martinelli, unfortunately, that's, I think people were hollering for him to get some game time in those last 2 games, and I think he's been carrying a bit of a knock, and apparently it's reasonably serious at the moment. So waiting to hear more about that. So with all of those things in mind, we do have a big game coming up on Thursday. So I think we all took a moment to think about what our team would look like and what our expected result is. So Sean, I'll shoot over to you. And what do you think about the game? What do you think about the score? And who do you want to see on the pitch?
Game's gonna be pretty tough because we don't have a good record up there. I remember we played them on Boxing Day, didn't they? Beat us 4-0 or something. But yeah, we don't have a very good record there. And they just won their first game versus Norwich 3-0. So they'll be buzzing after that. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough game, I think. I think Arteta's 11 will be key. He'll be picks, and then his tactics as hoping we can get the win, but after Brighton, I'm not very confident after what happened, and our injury list is quite big after 2 games back. I just wrote down my team. I'll just go through it quickly. So you got Martinez in goal. I was going to put Suarez on right back, but he said he was injured, so I'll put Maitland-niles in there. I put Mustafi and Tierney at centre back, Saka at left back, Guendouzi, Willock holding, Ozil in front, and Pepe, Reece Nelson, and then Aubayamang up front.
Interesting. I'm always fascinated to hear what you think about right back. You really got it in for Hector, don't you?
Even even in the Brighton game, he had a chance to take his man on, and then he just stops, passes it back. There was 4 or 5 times where he had the chance to take it round his men and then bomb down the wing. But I don't know whether it's his confidence or something else, but he just he doesn't want to take his man on. I'm not sure why, but yeah.
We'll make sure to tag him in the podcast so that he knows what you think about him, Sean. See if that boosts his confidence for the next game. See if he wants to take someone on. Jonathon, what about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty well going with the same lineup that we started with Brighton. I think that lineup any day would do well. So of course, Leno's out for Martinez. I put Bellerin in. Unfortunately, got Mustafi, and backing up Mustafi, you're going to have Luis on the bench. You got Holding and Kolasinac to finish off the back 4. And then out comes Guendouzi, and in goes Ozil. Ceballos, is Ceballos injured?
No, he's good.
Okay, so he'd be in Saka, Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubayamang go there. I've got Tierney on the bench, Willock, Maitland-niles, Nelson, Nicosia, and I mentioned Luis is on the bench, and I suspect Luis will come on, will be one of our first subs.
Was his been only 1 game? Or was it 2 games?
Yeah. He didn't play he wasn't in the lineup on versus Brighton.
Oh, okay. What about you, Conor?
I was going to say it's a good question though. Actually, I hadn't actually thought about that because he got a straight red, didn't he?
Yeah, straight red.
I'm trying to remember how they rule on these things again, or if it's dependent on why you got the red card or whatever it is. I can't remember. For me, I went for Emmy in goals, Hector at right back, Holding and Mustafi in the middle. I went Tierney at left back. I think he's back fit, and I'd like to see him sort of stake his claim on that position and prove his value to the team while he's fit. I've got Guendouzi and Ceballos in the sort of holding positions in midfield, and I've taken the same formation that Arteta played in the last game. It's sort of a 4-4-2, but it's almost like a 4-2-2-2 with the 2 sort of wider men. And I've got Pepe on the right and Ozil on the left, and then I've got Laka and Auba up front. I mean, I would have played Martinelli if he wasn't injured. If he starts in Kedia instead of Laka, I'm not going to be crushed by that. I find it tough watching Laka these days because I'm actually a huge fan of his, but he just does not seem to have any confidence at all in front of the net, and I don't know where that's coming from.
That was the chance he had against Brighton. He had a fantastic chance and sent it up into the second tier of the stadium.
Yeah.
And that's just it. I mean, we saw him do it in the sort of friendly matches that we had before we got back, didn't we?
Feels to me like he's lost like a yard of pace, like that real burst. But it could be confidence-wise, or there's some crazy stat where he hasn't scored away from home in like 6 months or something like that. So yeah, I don't know if he should be dropped, or just do you like persist with him, or yeah. I guess we'll find out on Thursday morning.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because we've seen him go on runs before, haven't we? You know, like he'll score games back to back, and we all know he's got that quality. He's in many ways, if he keeps going the way he's going to become, not that I think he's ever got the natural talent of an Ozil, but he's kind of headed down that way, isn't he? Where he's, you've got a player with such great potential, and they're just not turning up and performing the way they can perform on the day, right?
Yeah. It'll be,
And what about scores then, guys? What's our predictions? I'm going to ask you to put your neck on the line here.
God. You first, Jonathon.
Yeah, they're playing at Southampton. They haven't played well there for the last few years. I'm hoping for a tie, honestly. It could be 2-2, it could be 3-3, but
that is the saddest thing I have heard all year.
I can't see them winning. I hope I'm totally wrong. You can cut me out of this video if you like. If they do win, it's going to be 4-3 or with miraculous goal by Lacazette in the 90th plus minute. But I really, they struggle when they go to the South Coast. It's like they just come off the beach and play football or something. I'm not sure what it is. So, yeah.
So see when Jonathon turns out to be wrong about this, Sean, can we somehow like Photoshop the Joker's face over his face in the video? Is that something we can do?
I'm sure we can try, but tell you, if it's 4-3, I'm going to need a few beers, I think, during the game. If it's 4-3, I guess my prediction would probably be like, depends on his tactics and how he sets up the team and how he plays.
But if he plays your team, what's the score going to be?
I'll go 2-1. I think we'll score early, and then they'll equalise, and then we'll get the winner, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm loving this confidence, by the way, guys. This is exactly what. So when the team wake up tomorrow and they watch our podcast, they're going to feel the love. They're going to be so geared up for that game against Southampton, I tell you.
I changed my
yeah, you're going for 9-0 now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think from my perspective, I don't think they're going to play the team that I've laid out, because I think, as we were saying, I don't think Ozil's going to get a game. I think that for whatever reason, there's some sort of background stuff going on there. So fine, but I think the majority of those players will probably start. He might start Kolasinac at left back instead of Tierney if he's not feeling like Tierney's got the confidence or the match fitness to start the game. But I actually think the guys will respond. Excuse me. I think that if we think about the game against Brighton and even the game against Man City, like you say, we were in the game until, and God, I sound like the biggest Arsenal fan here ever. We were in the game until we conceded, and, everything else that happened, and I think in the game against Brighton, as you pointed out, Jonathon, there was chances and chances, and you convert a couple of those chances and they probably walk away, 4-0 winners instead of 2-1 losers. So I'm going for 3-0. I think the guys will turn it on. I think that they'll cut out the mistakes. I'm backing them to throw out a result, and get us back on track. Yeah.
Clean sheet. Look out.
Clean sheet. I know, risky with Emi behind Holding and Mustafi. It's funny. I actually back Emi more than Mustafi there for sure. Holding, I'm okay with. You just never know.
I think
Mustafi.
Martinez will play well in goal. It's gonna, and maybe that helps, having somebody in that the players don't know that well. That maybe they rally around and they play good defense. So maybe they do win 4-0 and they don't allow a goal. But Southampton isn't that strong a team, but they always seem to get up to play, and they played well against the other top half of the table this year. So they don't win many games, but they play them tough. And Arsenal is fragile right now, unfortunately. So it could be another frustrating match.
I feel like every team who comes up against us, they're like, they like fire up for it. Like Brighton's, like they beat us twice this year. And then like every like team down the bottom or just seems to like turn it on against us, and then strikers turn into Ronaldo or whatever. They just tend to play well against us. One thing that might help us is that like Southampton crowd won't be there, so maybe that could help us a little bit. Did you guys see their game, or did you watch it? Or
What was the question, sorry, Sean?
I was just saying, did you watch their game versus Norwich, or?
No, I didn't watch it.
Sorry, but your question got cut off. I don't know if Jonathon heard. I can't hear you, man.
I was just saying, did you watch the Southampton game versus Norwich?
Oh no, I didn't see it. I heard they were pretty comfortable though, right? I think what's his chops is still at Southampton, isn't he? Is it Danny Ings? Is he not at Southampton? Am I talking garbage here?
Yeah, he's up top of the sheets, I think.
Yeah, and he tends to rattle our defense a little bit whenever he plays. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are full of confidence. I'm feeling doubly as confident. So I think we're gonna come away smiling on Thursday. That's the expectation.
Yeah. Stay positive, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Not much else you can do.
Okay, guys. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Sean, let's post our teams underneath, and we can let people have a think about what they think in terms of what teams they'd like to see on Thursday, and then we'll maybe arrange a big group session. We can all have a beer on Thursday and celebrate, right? Get the whole squad out.
Yeah, I think I'm going down there, so I'll see you down there then.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Thanks for your time. Talk soon.
Right. Yeah.